where you will cut in your budget. Do you really think that voters have been enlightened as to what you're actually proposing? Well, as I just said during the debate, we will be releasing our costed platform over the weekend, this coming weekend, but we have already released most of our proposals that are costed, so people have a sense of what we're proposing. And we're not talking about cuts here, we're talking about government productivity. We must increase the productivity of the central government when it comes to operational spending. And we can have a discussion over the weekend, and there are about 10 days left until Election Day. Yes, I understand, but the debate is an exceptional opportunity to speak to many, many Canadians at once. And so tonight, you are talking about $500 billion that you intend to invest in the Canadian economy. Where is that $500 billion coming from? It's coming from a combination of investments, catalyzing investments by the Government of Canada. For example, the Housing Accelerator Fund, or lower charges in the housing sector. That will create a demand for private investment, and that will represent 8 to 10 times more than public investments. So that economic approach is necessary in this period of uncertainty, global uncertainty, and certainly uncertainty in Canada. So what we need is to be bold. We need to be bold in terms of our policies. And as I always say, we are masters in our own home, and Mr. Poilievre is saying the same thing right now. That's fine. But we have an opportunity to really build the strongest economy in the G7. And I intend to do that. Thank you.
Question in English, please.
Hi, Mr. Carney. Kean Bexley, Juno News. In your estimation, was Justin Trudeau a good prime minister?
Yeah, Justin Trudeau and the previous administration made a number of contributions to this country. I suspect since I have 10 minutes, I think, right, for the responses, I'm not going to enumerate them all. I'll make one point which I think is relevant on the way looking forward, which is, as I said the other night in an interview, he and I, we share the same values in terms of solidarity, taking care of one another. Emphasis on reconciliation, emphasis on equality of all Canadians, and building a better country for everyone else. The difference, one of the differences, there are many, but one of the differences between the two of us goes to the question I was just asked, which is I put much more emphasis on the economy, on growing the economy. In fact, in this circumstance that we're in, given the scale of the crisis and what needs to be done, I would say a relentless focus on growing the economy to work for all Canadians.
Just to follow up, if I may, your entire campaign does seem to be predicated on putting you in the front and hiding the people that stood in lockstep with Justin Trudeau for the last 10 years. You're kind of hoping that Canadians won't connect the dots, that the people standing behind you in your caucus walked in lockstep with him. Regardless of what you say right now, Stephen Guilbeault made the carbon tax's life work. The man that moved Paul Bernardo from a maximum security prison is now your chief of staff. I'm wondering how you reconcile this and how you can trust their judgment when they thought those ideas were good ideas.
I'd say a couple of things to that rather odd question. First is that the candidates in this election for the Liberal Party, I mean, you go and see when I make an announcement. I don't think I've seen you at any of them, but next time you can come. And you will see a wide range of the candidates that are there presenting themselves. So, for example, with respect to our announcement on crime, we had Bill Blair, now the Minister of Defence, of course, formerly the Chief of Police and a long time in Toronto, and Natalie Provost, who is a new candidate. We're honored to have her, and someone who's dedicated their life to helping to end gun violence and violence against women. There is a very wide range of candidates that have come to the party with me. There's a lot of fresh blood. There's also a lot of experience that's there, and you need that combination of energy, new ideas, experience, and and a fundamental passion for making this country better in order to serve at this crucial time. Thank you very much.
Question en français.
Émilie Bergeron, La Presse canadienne.
La Presse
Vous
canadienne,
avez dit durant le débat que
you
vous
said
voulez
during
mettre
the
une limite,
debate
un
that you
cap
want to
sur
set a
l'immigration
cap
dans toutes les
on
catégories.
immigration
Monsieur
in some
Trudeau a
categories.
déjà
Mr.
fait un
Trudeau
exercice de réduire
already
les seuils
went through an
d'immigration
exercise of
annuels.
reducing
De
annual
combien de
immigration
plus vous voulez
levels. How much more will you reduce them by? Well, my idea is more about maintaining the levels to a higher level for a fairly lengthy period of time, but at the same time, increasing our
We
capacity.
keep the, if I may, the various measures or levels of the different classes of immigration as roughly as they are today. So it's not, as the question was, a further reduction. But we probably are going to need them to keep them at those levels for longer until we have built up our capacity to welcome, which means housing, language formation, other factors.
En suivi sur, vous avez dit que vous voulez
Now,
une augmentation
you
de la
said you want
production
to
de
increase
pétrole, vous êtes
the
ouvert à
production
des
of
projets,
oil. You are
qui viennent
open
d'ouest
to
en est.
pipeline projects
Ça peut
from
prendre
east to
des
west.
années,
That
construire
could
un
take
projet.
years to build a
Comment,
pipeline.
alors, vous pouvez présenter ça
So
comme une
how
façon
can you
de-
present
pour le
that
Canada d'être
as a way
plus
for
indépendant
Canada
des
to be
États-Unis
more
si ça
independent
prend
of the
des
United
années à
States if
voir
it takes
Premièrement,
years before it can
en ce
see
qui
the light of
concerne,
day? Well, first of all,
il y a quelques aspects.
there are a
S'il y
couple of
a
aspects to that.
bouleversement de nos relations
If
avec les Américains,
we
c'est-
have an
c'est
improvement
d'accord
in our
maintenant. Il faut penser à court terme, à
relations,
moyen terme, à long
well, I
terme.
think we
C'est
need to
une
be
question,
thinking
comme
of the
vous,
immediate
vous
term, the
l'avez dit,
midterm, and
de
the long
moyen
term.
terme. OK? Première
What
chose.
you're talking about
Deuxièmement,
involves
le
the
fait-
medium term.
Le fait que nous
And the
avons,
fact that
comme le Canada, cette
as
option,
Canada, we have that
ça va
option
augmenter
that
notre
will
position
increase or
dans la
strengthen our
négociation
position
avec le
in
président
our
des États-Unis.
negotiations with
Et
the
ça,
President of the
ça, c'est
United
utile
States. And
maintenant.
that's very helpful
This will
right
be the
now.
last question. If we can keep the answers and question very short, please.
Absolutely. Alex Zoltan with True North. If you thought my friend's question was odd, you're going to love this one.
I'm glad you self-assessed that. Okay.
How many genders are there?
There, in terms of sex, there are two. Thank you.
My follow-up question then, do you believe that women, biological women, have the right to their own spaces, their own sports, their own change rooms, their own prisons, their own homeless shelters?
I think this is Canada, and that as a general objective, yes. But we work in where we value all Canadians for who they are, and we'll continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci.